Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah. A 5-year-old in Tokyo can sit and focus on one task for almost 45 minutes. In many homes across America, getting a 5-year-old to focus for even 5 minutes can feel impossible. So what is going on here? Is it genetics? Is it culture? Or is it something much simpler that any parent can start doing today? Today, I'm going to show you 6 everyday habits from Japanese parenting that researchers say are linked to stronger focus, better memory, and calmer emotional regulation in early childhood. None of these cost money. None of them involve flashcards or apps. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one to start with tonight. And habit number 3 might be the most surprising of all, because it involves something millions of American children use every single day. Here is what caught my attention. Pediatric researchers in Japan and the US have been comparing early childhood routines for years, and the differences are not small. It is not about being a stricter parent or a more relaxed parent. It is about which habits get protected every single day, no matter what. And the most interesting part? Several of these habits go directly against advice that is still common in the US. So let's start with the one researchers call non-negotiable. In Japan, a toddler's bedtime is treated the way we might treat a doctor's appointment. You do not casually skip it. Birthday parties, visits from grandparents, a fun day out, none of that moves the bedtime. Children between 1 and 5 in Japan typically get around 11 to 12 hours of sleep a night. Many children in the US are closer to 9. That 2 to 3 hour gap matters more than most parents think, because sleep is not downtime for the brain. It is when the brain organizes everything that happened during the day. During deep sleep, the connections a child built while playing, talking, and exploring get strengthened and filed into long-term memory. When sleep gets cut short, even by an hour, that filing process gets interrupted. Researchers have found that a single night of poor sleep can measurably affect attention and emotional control in young children the very next day. So if you only change one thing after watching this video, make it this one. Pick a bedtime and protect it the way you would protect a doctor's appointment. Step 2 might sound simple, but the consistency is the part that matters. In Japan, children spend at least an hour outdoors every single day, rain, cold, or shine. And we are not talking about a fenced-in plastic playground. We are talking about parks, gardens, dirt, trees, puddles, real unstructured outdoor space. Research on outdoor time and brain development points to 2 things happening at once. First, time in nature lowers stress hormones in young children. Second, when stress hormones go down, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for focus, planning, and self-control, gets the calm environment it needs to develop properly. Kids who get this kind of outdoor time regularly tend to show longer attention spans and better emotional regulation later on. In Japan, this is not treated as a nice bonus on a sunny day. It is treated the same way as meals or naps. Non-negotiable, every day. This is the step that tends to make parents a little uncomfortable, myself included. So let's just look at the numbers honestly. In Japan, children under 3 are generally kept away from screens almost entirely. Between ages 3 and 6, daily screen time is often kept around 30 minutes or less. In the US, the average for that same age group is often reported between 4 and 6 hours a day. The American Academy of Pediatrics itself recommends avoiding screen media for children under 18 months, aside from video chatting, and very limited use after that. And studies looking at brain imaging in young children have found that heavy early screen exposure is linked to differences in brain regions tied to language and literacy development. The reason is not that screens are evil. It is that every hour spent on a screen is an hour not spent on the things that actually build a young brain: movement, hands-on play, and back-and-forth conversation. Japanese parents are not avoiding screens because it is easy. it is genuinely harder. They are doing it because they understand what that time gets replaced with matters more than what it is filled with. Step 4 is one of my personal favorites because it is so easy to do and so often skipped. Real, messy, hands-on play every single day. In Japan, it is completely normal for a toddler to spend time playing with water, sand, mud, clay, or dough, or helping in the kitchen with real ingredients. Here is why this matters so much. Researchers studying hands-on sensory-based play have found that when a child physically manipulates real materials, multiple parts of the brain activate at the same time. Sensory processing, motor coordination, and problem-solving all fire together. That combination is sometimes called integrated learning, and it builds stronger, more flexible neural connections than passive activities, including most screen-based games and even many electronic toys. A 3-year-old kneading dough in the kitchen is getting more brain-building input in 5 minutes than an hour in front of a tablet. That is not an exaggeration. That is what the research shows. Step 5 is about something we are all guilty of sometimes, being in the same room as our child but not really there. Japanese parents spend a meaningful amount of time each day in genuine, face-to-face interaction with their children, not side by side with a phone in hand. Actual back-and-forth conversation. Studies on early language exposure have consistently found that the amount of real, responsive conversation a child experiences before age 5 is one of the strongest predictors of vocabulary size and later academic outcomes. And the key word here is responsive. A child hearing the television in the background does not get the same benefit. The brain needs to hear language, process it, and respond, ideally with someone who responds back. This can be as small as narrating what you are doing. I am washing the carrots. They feel cold and bumpy. Want to feel one? That is it. That is brain building, and it is free. The last step ties everything together, and it is about how much a young child's day is built around movement. In many Japanese households and preschools, children walk far more, climb more, and have more free, active outdoor play built into a normal day, not as a special activity, but as the default way the day is structured. Physical movement in early childhood is closely linked to the development of motor skills, balance, and coordination. But it also supports cognitive development. Movement increases blood flow to the brain and supports the growth of the same neural networks involved in attention and learning. In short, a body that moves often during the day tends to support a brain that focuses better. Honestly, none of these 6 things on their own are complicated. The power is in doing them consistently, every day, starting early. Here is the bigger picture behind all 6 of these habits. The first 5 years are not about getting ahead academically. They are about building the foundation that academics will later sit on top of. Sleep, time outdoors, limited screens, hands-on play, real conversation, and daily movement. That is it. No flashcards, no expensive programs, no pressure. And research consistently shows that children who spend their early years playing, moving, and exploring tend to do just as well, often better, academically down the road, compared to children pushed into early formal learning. So now I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 habits is the hardest for your family right now? Type the number in the comments, 1 through 6. I read as many comments as I can, and I would genuinely love to hear your experience. And if you enjoy research-backed parenting advice that is practical, simple, and actually works in real life, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, I share evidence-based strategies to help parents raise calmer, happier, and more confident children. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm Dr. Sarah, and I'll see you in the next video.